Well, hello there. This is Katrina, your host of the Conquer Your Cravings video series. I'm so excited that you are back for this extra special bonus live Q&A time that you are having in our Conquer Your Cravings week. And I'm thrilled about this. It's one of my favorite sessions of the whole week is that you and I get to get together and we get to review not only some of the highlights of what we talked about, just to solidify some things. We're going to talk about how to become a lifer. And I'm going to tell you what a lifer means. I'm going to have you step into a new role, a new identity. And we're also going to be answering all of your questions. So many y'all have asked questions with as they're related to each of the videos. And so we've gathered those questions and I'm going to be answering those tonight. And if you've showed up live or on the replay and you have questions, we're going to have you type those in and I'd be happy to answer your questions when we get to Q&A time as well. So we got a packed time together. If you do have a question, please put the letter Q and ask your question. And that's how my team will be able to gather those questions and send them my way. So as you're coming in, let me know hello. I see a lot of y'all coming in. So tell me hello. Where are you tuning in from? I can't wait to give you a little shout out. I'm so glad you're here with me tonight. So happy Friday. All right, so let's just recap here. Today, we're going to talk about how to become a lifer and what that means. So now that we've gone on the spirit, body, mind journey through Conquer Your Cravings, now it's time to step into your new role. And so that's the role of a lifer. And I'm also going to be sharing with you other lifer stories of hope. And you're going to walk away so inspired by some of these women who have already started the journey, some just a few months ago, some 6 months ago, some even longer, and what they're experiencing as a result of their starting their journey. And they're just going to be incredible stories for you to hear. And then also, we're going to be answering questions about Conquer Your Cravings, food, health, and the Healthy Free Life Academy, because I have received so many questions about the Academy because, as you know, hopefully you know, doors are open for enrollment inside the Healthy Free Life Academy. I'll be highlighting a little bit more later as to what the Academy is, what's included, how to join, and then answer any questions you have about it. So I don't want to leave you hanging with that. So hello to Arlene and to Laura. Hello to Peggy. Hello to Jenny and Michelle. So good to see you all tonight. Welcome, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. So what I want you to know is that I've been taking you along this journey, this journey through learning a completely new way, right? Body, mind, spirit approach. We talked about our spiritual health, our body health, and our mind health. And I brought you on this journey, and you are about to embark on the next leg of your journey. And you are going to be starting, if you haven't already, starting to take steps on your healthy free life journey. And I'm so excited for you. This is reason to celebrate. And before you do that, before you start on that adventure, there's just a few things first that I want to review that I just want to bring home the absolute nuggets I want to make sure you walk away with. But we're also going to dive in for just a little bit on some other mindset things that I want to make sure that you are aware of, some roadblocks you might hit along the way, and it might derail you, it might discourage you, it might make you come off course, and you might want to quit. And so I'm going to give you some mindset things that are going to help you to bust through those so that you can continue moving forward. And what we're going to be talking about now is that I want to make sure that you are shifting from an old way of thinking. Before you even started the Conquer Your Cravings video series with me, what did you walk away with as a thought process, as a philosophy about our body, our mind, and our spirit? And we're going to dive into that, and we're going to be creating a new way, and I call it the lifer way. And so you, my friend, are about to become a lifer, but I need to make sure that you are crystal clear what a lifer believes. All right, so let's dive in here. So first of all, a lifer. So you might have, let me back up here. When you came in, you might have believed that the way to conquer cravings and to get healthy was to focus on diet and exercise, that those were the only two things that we really needed to focus on. And you've focused on those so often in your life. I know I have, through dieting and exercising. And that's no longer. As you learned in video number 1 of the Conquer Your Cravings video series, there is a new way, a body, mind, spirit approach that helps us to focus on all of these areas. It's a full, comprehensive approach. And we're going to make sure that we put God at the center and honor him in the process. And so that, if you are a lifer, this is what you believe now, that you believe that truly to get healthy, it's a body, mind, spirit approach. The next thing is that you might have believed or didn't realize the importance of partnering with God on your health journey, that it is not selfish to ask God to help you with your health or with your weight. It is not vain to do so. He does not have other more important things he should be focusing on. Like, he is able to focus on the minute details of your life, and he is more than interested in helping you to restore your temple. So we need to lean into that. We need to tap into his power, depend on his power, because we are weak, but he is strong, and with him all things are possible. So the lifer way is we do this health journey with God. And so if you are consider yourself a lifer, that you want to do this with God, I want you to type in the comments with God. Okay, type in the comments with God. Every time we come up with what the lifer way is, I'm going to have you type it in, because this is good for your brain to type these in, because it's kind of like writing notes in school, right? And it's kind of like writing notes. And so I'm going to have you type it in. So with God. Okay, with God. Yes, I see them coming in. Yes, with God. Amen. Amen. Okay. Next question, or not next question, rather, the old way, you might have come in before Monday, and you might have thought that you might have experienced where you were living to eat, where your life has been overrun by these cravings, and you have such a food fixation that you think about food so often. When is your next meal? When is your next snack? And your life is consumed by food, or you might have this is good and this is bad, and you have this whole relationship with food that it was not meant to be. Or you might have been like one of the things I struggled with a lot too in my dieting years was I was either dieting or I was eating awful, and there wasn't any in between. And so I had this whole live to eat mentality as well. But now after you've gone through the body discussion with me in video number 2, the lifer way is to eat to live. Eat to live, and not just any food. We're going to be using God's glorious foods. So if you are ready to be a lifer and you want to eat to live, I want you to put that in the comments. Eat to live, if that's a philosophy you want to have in your life as well. Eat to live. Yes, I see them coming in. Good, you're taking notes. Love it. Okay. The next thing that you might have come in with is that your old way may have been to focus on goals. Like, I want to lose 30 pounds, or I want to work out 3 times a week, or I want to eat healthy. Or you might have started saying, I'm no longer going to drink caffeine, or I'm going to go on a sugar fast, or I'm going to XYZ. And so you have these goals that you set. But in video number 3, when we dived into the mind, you discovered that goals are not the problem. Like, we want to set goals, but we just need to realize that unless we have the habits that are setting us up to succeed and achieve those goals, we will never achieve our goals. Remember, John Maxwell said, people have uphill hopes and they have downhill habits. So it's time to, yes, we need goals. That's not the problem, but we need to focus on healthy habits and adding those into our lives, and let those to begin to crowd out the bad habits and then remove the bad habits from our life as well. So habit formation is critical in your new healthy free life journey. So if you believe that habits are something that you're going to focus on from now on, I want you to type in the word habits. That's our next word that we're typing in. Habits are so very important. And if you agree with that, then you are on your way to becoming a lifer. The other old way of thinking is that you might have thought that you had to be perfect. Because so often in our diet world that we have to go all in, right? And we would clear out the pantry. We'd go all in. We'd spend hours in the kitchen preparing, and we were so perfect. We had our entire menu plan mapped out for the entire week, and we were going to track everything, and we were so good, and we were so strong, and we were so perfect until we weren't, and then we fell off the wagon, and then the hunger and the craving started coming in, and suddenly we wanted things that we shouldn't be eating because it wasn't supposed to be on their plan, and we give into it. And suddenly we feel like a failure, right? So the two problems here is that I'm going to talk about the next one in just a minute, is that we need to baby step our way, not take these giant leaps. But what I want you to realize is that we are going to fail. And so we don't have to be perfect at this. That as you are learning to add in God's glorious foods, as you are learning to create new healthy habits and break old ones, as you are learning to partner with God day by day, meal by meal, your humanity is going to come into play. Your weakness is going to come up, and you are going to need an extra measure of grace. And so every single session, 1, 2, and 3, I talked about grace. That is the word that's going to be your new mantra, is grace. Amen. And this is how we're going to walk, is we must walk in grace. We are not perfect. And in fact, our weakness, who does it point to? It points to Christ and our dependence on him. Our weakness is a good thing to have because it keeps us dependent on our Lord. Grace, type it in. Oh, somebody's already ahead of me. Type it in. Yes, grace. Okay. You might have also come in to here with a idea in your mind that, I just need to get healthy, or I just need to stop eating sugar, or I just need to fill in the blank, right? So you might have had this, I have to get healthy. But what I want to share with you is that we need to approach this in a completely new way. Is that we don't want to focus on this goal of getting healthy. Instead, we need to focus on having a new identity. We need a new identity. And so often we just think that that's all we need to do is I need to get healthy, and then we need to start taking action towards it. But what we need instead is we need to shift our identity. We need to step into the woman we need to be in order to achieve that which we are after. So in other words, it's one thing I want to get healthy. It's an entirely different thing to say, I want to be healthy. And instead, I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to take out the word want, and I'm going to say, I am healthy. I want you to step into this new role of I am healthy. Okay? It's an identity change. I am healthy. Because, and I'm just going to take it a step further. I am a healthy temple of the Most High God. I'm a healthy, holy temple of the Most High God. You make the sentence what you want it to be. And so I am healthy, because here's what happens is for you to begin to start this journey of becoming healthy, we first need to claim it. Okay. And you say it. So I am healthy. I am a healthy woman. I am a healthy, holy temple of the Most High God. And you claim it. And then what you do is you begin to take small steps in the direction of that identity. Okay. And then what happens is every small step is a vote for the type of person you are trying to become. And then what happens? It's so amazing. Your brain, again, an incredible creation from God. Our brain says, oh, you know what? She's like doing all these things, and those are some healthy things. Like, good job. I like this. And I think I'm a healthy woman. And guess what? And then it starts acting like one. But unless we focus on our identity, then we're going to be striving to get healthy, but yet operating out of an identity of potentially one that says, I'm just a fat girl, or I'm just always going to be fat, or I'm such a failure, or fill in the blank. If you come into this with a identity that is anything but truth, an identity that is so negative, like you always just see yourself as the fat girl. The problem is that you can't have an identity of a fat girl and try to get healthy. Like, you can't have an identity of a fat girl and be able to sustain eating healthy for a long time. This is what happens. This is why self-sabotage happens. So often people ask me, why do I always self-sabotage? It's because it's not a willpower issue. It's not a self-discipline issue. It's not a you didn't do it right issue. It's more like you have an identity issue. This is where self-sabotage comes from, is because we're trying to be somebody that we don't believe we are. And so we have to step into the role of being healthy. Even if you don't see it yet, even if you don't believe it yet, even if you don't, it's not even true yet, we still claim it as truth, and then we walk forward in the direction of being a healthy woman. And I believe that one day here soon, I'm going to create a bracelet, because we have the What Would Jesus Do bracelets, right? So we need bracelets that say, what would a healthy woman do? So HWD. What would a healthy woman do? And we need a bracelet. And because I want you to, as you go on this journey and you're presented with decisions to make, like, should I eat a salad or should I eat fast food? I want you to ask yourself, what would a healthy woman do? Should I order out dinner tonight, or should I go ahead and prepare a meal that's going to take me 30 minutes to make, but it's healthier? What would a healthy woman do? Should I have a glass of water, or should I drink this Coca-Cola? What would a healthy woman do? And you know what? You make enough healthy women decisions, and you, my friend, will become a healthy woman. You will fulfill the prophecy of that identity and that which you were after. And guess what? Instead of focusing on the goal of getting healthy, you focused on your identity of being healthy, and now you are healthy. I want you to want to get healthy where it becomes part of who you are. It is so ingrained in your DNA that you can't help but operate out of it. I was a very unhealthy woman. I ate like garbage. I was a veggie-hating, Dr. Pepper drinking, sugar-addicted, diseased, yo-yo dieter. This was my life for probably half of the years I've been on this earth. And by God's grace, I began to realize that there had to be more, because I felt so awful. I was not able to abundantly live the life that God had given me. And he began to show me how to eat and live. And I took enough steps towards that my identity changed. I'm a healthy woman, and I act like a healthy woman, but it wasn't that way from the beginning. Like, if you were to look back at early photos when I was getting healthy in my early stages, this was probably like 15 years ago or so, you would look and you would see still, like 1 or 2 years into my health journey, you would still see things like soda on the counter, and you would still see like Gatorade and, boxes of things. Like, I look at photos and I still saw those things, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I thought I was healthy, but man, I still had a long way to go. And by God's grace, I made it. But you see, I clawed my way back. And so my goal is that I help you to do it a lot more quickly than it took me. And you're going to get there. But let's step into the role of being healthy. So now I'm sure that most of you are on that way. But here's what I want you to say. This is what let me pull it back up so you know exactly what to say. I am healthy. That's minimum. And if you want to claim anything more than that, I am a healthy woman, or I am a healthy temple of the Most High God. Whatever you want to say here is fine. At minimum, I am healthy. This is our new identity. Okay? Excellent. All right, next up. Old way, we talked about this in video number 1, is failure. Is that you may have come in here and you just feared failure. Oh, here we go again. I'm going to have to try and quit sugar once again. Oh, here we go again. I'm going to have to give up all my favorite foods again, and I'm just going to fail. Oh, here we go again. Another diet just to fail. Like if you were to, I have surveyed thousands of women who have come into the Healthy Free Life Academy. And do you know what I asked them? Like, what stopped you or almost stopped you from going on your health journey and or joining the academy? And do you know what the number one thing was? I was afraid I was going to fail again. Well, guess what? Here's what you need to know. You need a major shift in your thinking about failure, okay? Because somehow our society, our school system, our parents, I'm not sure where it came from. But what you need to know is failing is a good thing. Failing is part of the process. Because when you fail, it gives you a lesson. The problem is, for many women, they get to a certain point that they failed so many times in their attempts to diet and their attempts to get rid of XYZ food that there's been attempts to lose weight. There's been so many failed attempts. The problem is that we believe that we're just going to fail again. And so the problem is that we just stop trying. And here's what I'm here to tell you, is that if you choose to not try, if you choose to not go on this journey because you believe the lie that you are a failure or that you will fail, then guess what, my friend? You have already fulfilled that prophecy, because not trying is failing. Not getting back up after you fall is failing. What I need you to understand is that stumbling is part of the process. Stumbling is part of the process. The thing is that this is, as you are developing new habits, okay, one of the things your brain is always doing is learning. And so as you move forward in creating new healthy habits, you're adding in these glorious foods and you're adding in these lifestyle changes, then you're going to stumble and you're going to go back to old habits because you still got wiring that's in there, okay? And you're going to change that wiring over time. But as you stumble, I want you to just recognize this is part of the process. Oh, this is what Katrina was meaning. I'm going to stumble. I'm going to fail. I'm going to go back to old ways. But we need to basically, here's what I want you to do. Like when you're down on the ground and you're in the muck and the mire of your failure, I need you to ask for God's strength. And I want you to rise again. I need you to dust yourself off. You just dust it off. Okay? Repent if you need to. And then you just need to take one faithful step forward. I need you to learn to fail fast and fail forward. So, girl, get that failure out of your system early on. Like we're just gonna wait to fail. Like we're just gonna be like, all right, that was a failure. Thank goodness I failed because now I can keep moving forward. And you're gonna get up and you're gonna take one step ahead. Forward. Do not fail back. Fail forward. Failure will happen. I want you to fail forward. Amen. And so I want you in the comments to write fail forward. I will fail forward. Stumbling is part of the process. And it all comes back to grace, right? Grace, grace, grace. It's something that we learn And it helps us every time. And here's the thing, is that every time you do this, your brain learns. And what happens is the more time you fail over time, the easier it is to get back up. Like you can have it, instead of going like where you're off course for like a week or a month, like suddenly you're just off course for one meal. You're like, oh, that was not a wise choice with lunch. Okay, time out. That was not a wise choice. I stumbled there. Guess what? Dinner's going to be a healthy dinner. And you just make the next dinner healthy. And what starts happening is you're going to stumble and it's not going to be so emotional anymore. You're not going to feel like a failure any longer. You're just going to be like, oops, that was a stumble. That's okay. I'm going to keep moving forward. And you take the next faithful step. And the next faithful, like you are only ever one bite away or one healthy habit away from being back on track. So you are literally one glass away from being back on track. You are literally one healthy meal away from being back to healthy eating. You are literally one sleep away from healthy sleep. You are just one step to get back on track, and you are back in it, okay? Next up is that the old way of thinking is that you might have been really focused on results instead of focused on a lifestyle. This is a biggie. And I'm going to go to James Clear here for a little help on this one, for this to really drive home. In the long run, the people who succeed are the ones who want to live the lifestyle that precedes the results, that comes before the results. Stop asking, what results do I want to have? Instead, start asking, what lifestyle do I want to live? It is common to want results. It's rare to want the lifestyle. Man, this one drives home. Like there was someone in the community that posted this week, and I know she was, it was in jest, and so I'm going to use it in jest, but she's like, I just wish I had a Barbie doll body, and that's kind of like sometimes and I know that's not what everybody hopes for, but at some point we just want to look good, right? And then the issue is that we don't want to do what the Barbies of the world have to do to maintain their Barbie body. Like they work hard for their Barbie body. And so it's like, we got to live the Barbie lifestyle. And again, I'm just jesting here about the Barbie thing, but it just was trying to drive it home, is that we got to be willing to live the lifestyle if we want the results. And we can't be so focused on the results. And that leads us to here, is that the old way is that you might have been so focused on the results, such as your weight. And the lifer way is going to be focused on creating a healthy lifestyle. One of the things that when women come into the Healthy Free Life Community Facebook group, one of the questions I ask them is, what is it that you're hoping to achieve from this community and this group? And the number one thing that people say, the words that they use, is a healthy lifestyle. I just want a healthy lifestyle. So I believe that so many of y'all understand that a healthy lifestyle, like where you're eating and living in a way that's just natural, part of your life, and it's easy and it lasts a lifetime, no more yo-yo dieting. So when we focus on a healthy lifestyle, here's what I want you to know, is that weight loss becomes a byproduct of that. Just because we try to lose weight doesn't mean we're going to be healthy. We could be very, because just think about it. Like, there are some very unhealthy thin people. I was one of them. When I was a kid, I was very unhealthy, but I was thin because I was so sick as a child. Like, when we focus on a healthy lifestyle, it makes a huge difference. And while you're going on it, this is just a little bonus tip here, is that I want you to look for non-scale victories along the way as well. Because I know that you're going to be so focused on your weight. Some of y'all, not all of y'all, some of you might be focused on trying to conquer cravings and things like that. But what I want you to do is that even if you haven't achieved your goal yet, or that result yet that you're after, let's look for some other non-scale victories as we go along the journey. So we just recently inside the Academy, somebody coined the hashtag NSV. I don't know if it means anything else, but we now use it inside the Academy as non-scale victories. So we're going to look for things like a deepened walk and relationship with the Lord. We're going to look for things like more energy. We're going to look for things like freedom from food. We're going to look for radiant skin. We're going to look for things like, upgraded pantries. We're going to look for better sleep. We're going to look for improved relationships. Like, there are so many things. I mean, we're going to look for decreased pain in our body. Like, these are things that can result out of a healthy lifestyle. And we're going to keep moving forward, focused on that healthy lifestyle. And we're going to trust the process that this will yield the other results, the goals that we're after as well, which is weight loss. Because I need you to remember that becoming healthy, the byproduct of that is weight loss, is conquered cravings, is fill in the blank, whatever you're trying to achieve here. Old way of thinking, you might have thought that you need to take giant leaps. I talked about this a little bit earlier. You might have thought that maybe you have to jump from one side of the canyon to the other in order to lose weight. You had to go on the latest diet in order to do it. So if I told you, all right, everyone, here we go. We're going to tomorrow. We're all going to start keto. Here's your 300-page book on how to do keto with all the recipes and all the menu plans and all of that. So, like, what would we have to do? Like, it's like we have to take a giant leap in order to get up and running with the keto diet, for instance, right? Or fill in the blank diet. I've done it so many times where I would literally carve out 1 or 2 weeks just to prepare for a diet. And you're like, oh, I don't think I could do this diet right now because I don't have the time. Like, or you have to like carve it out, right? I don't want you to take giant leaps anymore. When you take and I think I meant to have you write in healthy lifestyle earlier. So I'm sorry, I missed one. Healthy lifestyle. You can type that one in if you're tracking with me here. But the lifer way on this one, instead of taking giant leaps, you're going to take baby steps, because baby steps means that 1, it's easy. 2, we trick our brains. Our brains like won't even realize that we're getting healthy and becoming healthy, but we start taking baby steps towards it. And again, it's a vote towards the type of person you're becoming. Baby steps for the win. They make all the difference in the world. That means that any day is the right day to start again. Any day is the right day to start your new healthy eating, because it's only baby steps. Like, all I'm asking is that you make a 1% improvement every single day. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, you're not starting a whole new diet. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to wake up and you're going to say, what is one healthy thing I can do today? That's it. And then the next day, do that same thing again. And then do it again and do it again. And that's now developing habits. But then I do want you to add on to it. And to the point where, like, once that new healthy thing becomes easy, then we add on a new healthy thing. What is one healthy decision I can make today that I will feel amazing about? So type in the word baby steps. Oh, y'all have already started typing in baby steps. Baby steps for the win. Type in baby steps. And don't forget, the old way might have been to do this alone. And the lifer way is with community. And so I want you to type in either community or the hashtag better together, because you want to join a culture where your desired outcome is what the whole community is about. And so this is where you get a friend, you get an accountability group, or you join the Healthy Free Life Academy, where we already have one built in. Like, whatever you need to do, you get yourself plugged in. You don't do this alone. Yes, you will have God's power, but He gave us each other for fellowship and for accountability, and iron sharpens iron, and we're going to be better together. I am better because of the women in the community that I serve. I am better because of you. I want you to know. So that's why I wore my shirt tonight, better together. Okay, we are better together. And so now, this is a lifer. These are the philosophies of a lifer, okay? This is what everything is going to be built upon as we start our brand new adventure. And so here's what I want you to claim. I now put aside all of my doubts, all of my fears, all of my excuses, and every reason I can think of that I can't do it, because I can do it. With God's strength, with his power. I am fully committed to God, the process, my health, and the lifer community, and myself. Amen. I am a lifer. So if you are in agreement with the philosophy of what I just described, we're going to do it with God, a body, mind, spirit approach. We're going to eat to live. We're going to focus on habits instead of goals. We're going to focus on our healthy lifestyle. We're going to focus on grace. We're going to get rid of the lies that we are a failure. We're going to know that stumbling is part of the process. All of these things that we talked about. If you believe that these are basically what you need to stand on as you start this journey, I want you to type it in. I am a lifer. I am a lifer. And so, yeah, I'm a lifer. And so we do lifer, L-I-F-E-R. And so because healthy, free life, right? And so we're lifers. This is what help being part of the community means. So this is what, I just want you to know. It's like, if any of this has resonated with you, if you're like, yes, I believe that this is the shift that I need in my mind in order to help me move forward. Like if you need support in making this belief become part of your belief system, if you need help where you don't have a community and you need a community of others to help you along, if you want the step-by-step and need the step-by-step to know exactly how you should be transitioning to a whole food diet and how to add in these healthy lifestyles, then remember, I really do want to make sure that you do this with a community. And so I just want to remind you that the Healthy Free Life Academy is the place where you can accomplish all of this together in community with me as your guide, teaching you and guiding you along the way. Enrollment is now open. Doors close on Sunday night at midnight, just to remind you. You get everything that you need inside the academy to get healthy, create that healthy lifestyle, body, mind, and spirit. And just a quick review. There's a monthly digital magazine, library health education, private community, weekly live Q&As with me, exercise videos, recipes, menus, grocery lists, biblical book studies. Like I've left nothing out. Like I've given you all the tools that you need to develop that healthy lifestyle so that you can get the results that you want, so that you can abundantly live this life that God's given you, so you can be freed up to do what God's called you to do. And so Tara is in the comments now. She's part of my Healthy Free Life team, and she is sharing the link to there. I'll be sharing it with you on the screen as well. Don't forget, I have some great bonuses, an entire 101 course inside the academy. It's a 14 lesson course that will walk you through how to transition to a glorious way of eating and living. And if you've loved this video series, the Conquer Your Cravings video series, you can watch it until the 30th, till Sunday night, and then we take it down and we put it actually inside the members area, and so that will be inside as well. And so let me come here real quick. Membership inside the academy is just $27 to get started, or if you'd rather have a much lower cost and join us for the yearly plan and save 40%, there's a yearly option to join as well. And so that is the link there on your screen. And so just know that that I would just love to support you. And head over there now if you're interested. You can learn all about the details. I really went through a more extensive walkthrough on Wednesday night during video number 3, an extensive walkthrough. I even showed the magazine and all that's included. So if you missed that, head back there and watch that, or just head over to the page and learn more about it. But what I wanted to do is I really would love to share some stories with you from women who are on the same journey that you are about to go on. Okay. So these women, I'm going to share some inspiring stories. They're lifers. They're doing the thing. They are walking out their healthy free life, and you will find out they are not perfect. They are covering themselves in God's grace as they take this journey, and their lives are transforming before our eyes. And I want to show them to you so that you can be inspired and realize that this is possible.
What have I experienced as a result of joining the Academy? Oh, many, many things. I mean, I have a list here, and I think I'm down to like 31.
I didn't know anything about the Academy before I joined, but I have to say that it really was an answer to prayer, a real blessing from God. I can't tell you how many days I went to bed at night, disgusted with myself for how I'd eaten through the day, promising myself that I would do better tomorrow, and praying to God to please help me. As I look back now, I really do believe that the Academy was an answer to that prayer.
Since joining the Academy, it has been great having Katrina guide me along this journey. She has a wealth of knowledge.
Totally love this Academy and the team that Katrina and Chris have put together. How real and uncontrived this program has felt. Katrina, her husband, her family, everything feels normal and real and no facade.
Being turned on to this program was probably the best thing that has happened in quite a while. Katrina and her husband Chris are great.
And it has been such a balm to my heart.
And they seem to care about you, and it's just a wonderful experience to work with people who care about you and care about your progress, and I like that.
First, I've had the weight loss, and that's been wonderful, about 20 pounds. My body has changed about 15 inches. So those are wins. Win, win, win.
My current weight loss is 35 pounds. And inches, it's been like a little more than 32 inches that I have lost.
I've lost 60 pounds. I have lost from a size 3X down to 12, 14.
I've been able to lose 20 pounds housefully. I used to be around 235 pounds, and now I'm down to around 215 pounds.
I first came into the Academy, I was going into a 16. I can't wear 18, and I cannot wear 16. I am a fabulous 14. I am so grateful to God that I am a 14. He did this, not me. It is all God. He has the glory because I couldn't make it on my own without him. Since I've joined the Academy, I've reconnected with God. I am healthier than I've been since I was in my 20s. I enjoy life now, where I always had burdens of walking and struggling.
And I have lost the weight that I wanted to lose. But much more important to me is that I've learned a lot. I'm eating so much better, probably the best that I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Feel so much better. My energy levels are higher. My mind is clear. I have not been a size 8 since I was in high school. So I think I'm probably even healthier than I was in high school. So I feel great.
And my blood pressure and sugar are both normal.
What I like about the Academy program is that it incorporates the body, the mind, and the spirit.
I've learned to connect mind, body, and spirit. I had lots of great results. One of my biggest results is my relationship with God is a lot stronger now.
To bring in the spiritual aspect of it has been a major benefit for me. It helps to keep me strong as I eat my glorious food.
I've also learned a lot about God's grace, that if I do fall down, go and do have a binge or whatever, I know that God's grace is there and he will forgive me, and I can just go to him and repent, get back up again and start again, which is absolutely wonderful. Before I used to just get so self-condemned, and just that would make it worse, and then I just want to eat more again.
And most importantly, that I've been encouraged in my daily walk with God. I've been reminded, to take that time each day with him and start my day off right.
What else has been wonderful has been learning that I am not alone in my struggles. And it's been wonderful being part of a Christian community of women who struggle just like I do.
First, I want to say just the community, the support, Katrina and Chris, and being with like-minded Christian, mainly women, but I've just enjoyed that camaraderie, I guess, because of being retired. If I need to hear from someone and get some positives, I can just check in. It's also nice when others need support that you can lend that.
I thoroughly enjoy the Facebook group, the connections there that you make with ladies. You may never actually meet in person, but they are very trustworthy and honest and very supportive.
A really big thank you to the ladies in the community. I always just feel so encouraged and supported and loved, and they are just beautiful. We're all in this together, and it's just, I feel like we're just linking arms going on this journey, and it's just been fabulous.
I love the community. It's so positive. It's already impacted me in my life, and I just feel like it's a really strong community. I guess as a woman and a Christian woman, that is just super important to me.
It has been so helpful for me to work with Katrina and Chris and their staff. They are so positive and so encouraging, and they do things in baby steps. And that is so helpful because you decide where you start. And I always feel encouragement. And even on the days that maybe I don't exercise, I don't feel condemnation. I don't feel like I've failed.
It's baby steps. I constantly hear them. It's just baby steps. And you know what? We have to learn to take care of ourselves, and just baby steps. It's going to take some time. This weight didn't come on easy. It's not going to go off easy. But if we allow God to help us, he will help us. We will be healthy. We will be strong.
I've learned what foods are life-giving, exercise that works for me, rest that is essential to life.
Knowledge that Katrina and Chris both have it's amazing. They study hard. They have so much information to give. They care about everybody. They answer all kinds of questions. Chris has put some amazing videos out there to exercise that don't take a long time, but the videos give you a good workout within 15, 20 minutes and you're done. It makes you want to come back to them.
I like the metabolic workouts. I really like those because I can see like the inches are kind of melting away.
I thought I hated exercise. Well, I just hated what I was doing. Now with the exercise videos and the information and, keeping safe while I do it, have been wonderful. That has been life-changing for me.
I like working out with Katrina and Chris. It makes you feel like you have somebody working along with you.
Working with Chris has taught me baby step. The 2 minutes has got me up to an hour exercise per day.
You keep going, and you're feeding your spirit, you're feeding your body, you're feeding your mind, and I'm feeding the complete me with this program, and I love it. It has just made a huge change in my life, and I so appreciate it.
I just appreciate finding this program, this accountability team, this connection of ladies. I just love it. The book studies have been good. There's just nothing negative that I can say about this program. I just really love it, and I appreciate all that you're doing, Katrina, and your family, and all that's involved with it, and your team.
And I'm so thankful for this team. If it wasn't for them, they have already did all the work. All we have to do is just do it. Let's master these habits. Let's master these habits. Read everything that they give us. Read it. Master every habit.
It's like they've lived this, and that's because they have lived this. And they've just been great partners and great coaches all the way through.
I hear God saying, finish it, finish it, finish it, finish it.
This program is worth more than its weight in gold. It's just been such a change in my life, and I can't say enough wonderful things about it.
And now I adore Katrina and her hubby.
And I'm so thankful to Katrina and to Chris and all of those that work with them, because it's been a wonderful experience and I'm learning more and more every day.
I'm just really, really thankful for Healthy Free Life and for all the work that Chris and Katrina are putting into this. And I'm excited for other people to get to experience it too.
Amazing, right? I don't know if you heard throughout the entire thread of that entire video is the philosophies that we just talked about, the lifer philosophies that we talked about, the grace that they're experiencing, the community that they love, the baby steps that they're taking, the transformation they're experiencing. It could be a completely new experience for you as well. And I would love to support you inside the Academy. And so again, Tara's going to be sharing that link there. You're welcome to head on over there to check things out now if you would like to. But I am going to dive into your questions, those burning food and health questions as well. But also, if you have any questions about the Academy, if there was something that one of these ladies said that you are wondering about, just let me know. I'd be happy to answer questions about the Academy as well. And I'm here for you. So we're going to go ahead and dive in. So let me go ahead and start and answer your questions. All right. So most of the questions that come in, that's not a surprise to me. Most of the questions came in on our food night. So we had several questions that came in after video number 3, just questions about food, questions specifically about the Glorious Food listing and other such questions about like, what about this and what about that? And so I'm happy to answer those questions. I'd also love to answer any other questions that you have. So one of the themes that you might have heard on that video that we just watched as well is that my husband, Chris, is, I'm not the only one on the Healthy Free Life team. So that when you join the Academy, you get an entire team, not in addition to 1,000+ women that are inside the community. And so there are 4 of us on the Healthy Free Life team, and each one has a vital role to play. And so Tara here is in the comments, and she helps out in so many areas, but loves on our community. That's her role, is to love on the community and help and guide them along the way. And she is basically my right arm to help me to do so. We also have Julie on staff, who is she does so many things project-wise to help me behind the scenes, but she's becoming our spiritual guide on this journey for our Healthy Free Life. And so she writes articles in our magazine every month. She also has wrote extensively in our Academy as it relates to our spiritual walk with the Lord. And so she is incredible and such a support to this community. The other one is my husband, Chris. And so he is a physical therapist and a strength coach. He leads our exercise movement component of our programs. He has put together 10 exercise videos inside our Academy, and our members love him. So he answers all their questions about their aches and their pains and their physical limitations, how to make adjustments and customize things. And so he actually will be on with me on Sunday night, because we will be back here Sunday nights for a live at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, the 30th. So mark your calendar, set an alarm, and he's going to show up. And what we do during this is we just share with you what, a little bit about our mission and our ministry and why we're even here and doing this. But then we also dive in, and he's happy to answer any exercise or movement questions that you have. And so he'll be here to answer those. So we'll bring him on Sunday. But tonight I'm going to be answering, it looks like lots of food questions, which is fine. But if you have Academy questions or anything else, please let me know. Okay. So Jean says, do I need to eat breakfast if I'm not hungry? So Jean, that's totally up to you. That's definitely not something that you need to necessarily address or fix early on. Not being hungry, there's the intermittent fasters that would say it's okay not to eat breakfast, right? And then there's those that would say if you're not hungry, there actually could be some hormonal issues that are going on. So you have like this, is it good? Is it bad? And so in the beginning, we're not going to worry about it. So what I want you to do is, if you don't normally eat till 10:30 or 11, and then you're ready for lunch and that works for your body, as long as you're seeing the results that you want. So if that way of eating is you're not having hunger, you're not having cravings, and you're able to either lose or maintain the weight you want, like if you are getting the results that you want in your body and in your life, then that way of eating doesn't necessarily need to be changed. But if you are struggling with your weight or you're struggling with cravings, then that may need to be addressed. But only you are going to be able to, really know as you begin to experiment. And so definitely still do the breakfast experiment to check out, and then eat the breakfast experiment at the time you normally eat breakfast, if that makes any sense. So, because what you're doing, or at least use the philosophies, because what you're doing is you're trying to determine, okay, if I have a protein-rich breakfast, if I have a grain-rich breakfast, if I have a dairy-rich breakfast, like which one fits you best? And then you can apply those same things to lunches if you wanted to kind of start experimenting there. So Chris says, if I'm not hungry, should I eat at mealtime anyways? So Chris, I would say that really ideally we would eat 3 times a day. And so if you're getting to a point where you're not hungry, again, there could be potentially some hormonal things going on. Sometimes our bodies can be so stressed that it kind of like turns off our hunger signals, and we can also have some insulin issues. We don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. But just like I said just a minute ago, if you're skipping a meal and because you're not hungry and you're at your ideal weight, or you're losing weight that way, or you feel great, you feel energized, you don't have hunger or cravings, then by all means, like, skip a meal. I'm not going to be the one to tell you what you should and shouldn't do with how you eat during the day. You're unique. Like, I'm going to help you to develop your body or your diet. But if it's not working for you, if you're struggling with your weight, if you're struggling with your cravings, then guess what? There may be something wrong with the way that you're eating, and that does need to be addressed. And so then you're going to start to experiment and to work to see how to make adjustments to that. Ellen wants to know, I'm asking if you go by calories and limiting of food, or right now just choose the type of food. So Ellen, what I do inside the Academy when students come in is that what we need to first do is develop a new relationship with food. And so while calories do matter, like it does matter how much food we do eat. I mean, we can't overeat. We don't want to undereat, and we don't want to overeat. We want to find the just right Goldilocks way of eating. So to kind of help our bodies and our minds break free of the old dieting mentality, what we need to do is we need to develop a new relationship with food, and that's with God's glorious foods. And so that is the first couple of months of my program, as you walk through a step-by-step process to begin to develop that new relationship with food, where you begin to break free from food, but then see it as God intended for it, his glorious gift to us. And so I walk you through step by step, adding in God's glorious foods. And I talk about sugar, and we talk about protein and healthy fats, and how much you should be eating and all of those things. And then what happens is those glorious foods begin to crowd out the things that aren't serving you. And so once we have developed that new relationship, and you are then also eating God's glorious foods 80 to 90% of the time, it's at that point that if we need to continue the journey for weight loss, or you want to go faster, then we can at that point begin to look at calories and macronutrients and portion sizes and things like that, so that we can start that additional metabolic rebooting. But in the beginning, we don't count calories. We don't have restrictions. We instead are developing a new relationship with food. So hopefully that was helpful. So Becky wants to know, is the Glorious Foods list help with a low thyroid? I think I have a thyroid problem. I have a hard time losing weight. So Becky, I would say that first of all, just to time out there, we don't want to necessarily self-diagnose ourselves. So I would want to make sure that you would have testing done before you assume that it's a low thyroid. So that would be the first thing. So make sure before you start pursuing low thyroid treatment type things that you definitely have a thyroid issue, because then you can start treatment for that. But just because you are having trouble losing weight, it doesn't mean it's a thyroid issue. So that's not, I mean, thyroid could be an issue, but it's, for what I see, it's rarely the issue. We really have a metabolism issue where the whole system, your whole hormonal system, your metabolism is made up of many, many hormones, and the system is not functioning as it should. And so, again, one of the first things we do for repair is we start a glorious food way of eating and change our relationship with food. And then we dive into beginning that repair. And a lot of times, you know, some of the ailments and things that we struggle with, such as not being able to lose weight, those things begin to naturally begin to transform as you journey on this healthy, free life. And so, again, we're looking for non-scale victories too. We want to see if somebody has low thyroid, they're going to have other symptoms that are happening as well. And so we want to see transformation to our whole body, mind, and spirit, not just on the scale, but as we focus on those health things, right? As we focus on a healthy lifestyle, guess what? The results follow, and a healthy lifestyle yields weight loss if that's something that you are after. But we really need to bring balance to the whole system. And thyroid is, just because somebody has an issue with thyroid or hypothyroidism does not mean that it's not possible for them to lose weight. My husband and I have extensive training and certification in the female hormones, specifically in the metabolism. And our in-depth training has, you know, led us to discover that you know, thyroid and our thyroid hormones are just one component of our ability to lose weight. And we have many other hormones that can help to contribute towards that weight loss. We just need to make sure that the right hormones are coming in our body. And we're going to do that through not only food, but the right type of exercise that actually boosts the metabolism and burns fat. We're also going to make sure we focus on other key things like we talked about in the body, mind, spirit, where our relationship with God, like we're walking with the Lord, that our mind, like one of the things that we really work on inside the academy is we work on resting more so that our bodies can stress less. Because we have a lot of stress going on in our life. We are never going to be able to succeed at weight loss, because your body is designed that under stress, it's not going to release the fat. So we got to deal with stress. And that's something that we cover inside the academy as well. But we also need to make sure we are hydrated, and that we have that we are sleeping well, and that we are moving our body, not just exercising, but we're moving our body throughout the day, because movement is even a bigger contributor to our metabolism and weight loss than exercises. And so there's lots of other things that we can do to help really bring your system back into balance. And that's, you know, something we're definitely looking to do inside the academy and through all of the resources that I share with you. That's definitely going to help with that. Okay, so Chris says, I find it difficult to buy fresh food on a limited budget, and I know that they are better for you. Any suggestions? Chris, I say get as many fresh foods as you can afford. I am not a fan of canned veggies or fruit, but I will say that if you need to resort to getting frozen veggies or frozen fruit, if that ends up being cheaper for you than doing fresh, then by all means do frozen, you know, if that's better. But if you go on the God's Glorious Food list, I will tell you that eating God's Glorious Food does not have to be expensive. You can absolutely eat healthy on a budget. I did it for many years of our early healthy journey, where we were on a very limited budget, and so we made it work. And then we also began to prioritize our spending for our health, because we started to feel amazing and suddenly we didn't want to give that up. And so for us to be able to afford healthy food and to afford these things we wanted for our health, to improve our health, we went from smartphones to flip phones. We drove 10-year-old cars. We canceled cable. We got the cheapest internet. We began to cut things from our budget in order to make sure that healthy eating and healthy living was prioritized in our budget, because it's just too important to us. We felt amazing. We were seeing such results and we never wanted to go back. And so it was worth investing in. So, you know, there's a balance of living in a budget and then also prioritizing that budget as well. And also think about this, if I want you to, each and every one of you, as if you're wanting to reduce what you spend in the grocery store as well, I really want you to look at your grocery store, I'm sure, at your grocery cart after you've gone to the grocery store. And I want you to, look at the grocery cart and say, like, what is in this cart that is really not serving me? Because I in the grocery store, as I walk through the aisles, I see where people have really non-food items in their cart, like items that they ingest in their mouth and they put into their body, but they're not essential. They're not essential for life. And so they're foods often that are bringing harm. And so I really want to encourage you to look into your grocery carts and just bring some awareness to what you're buying, because what I want you to do is to begin shifting your food budget from the things that are not serving you over to the things that are serving you, that will bring you health. And eating God's glorious foods does not have to cost a lot if you do it the right way. Okay. Janice wants to know, I would like to know about eating sugar-free products and sugar alcohol. So Janice, so obviously we want to eat foods without sugar, but then there's sugar-free products, right? And most likely sugar-free products are going to have, and most likely have, an artificial sweetener. Now, some are starting to have stevia or monk fruit, and stevia or monk fruit are on the Glorious Food listing. So those are okay things. But anything else that it is sweetened with, such as, sucralose, or some, you're looking for Splenda and NutraSweet and Equal. So, and you're looking for the names that they come under, like sucralose is usually the most common one that manufacturers put in. We absolutely want to begin to walk away from artificial sweeteners, things that are found in our diet products like Diet Coke and other sugar-free products, because studies are now showing that things like aspartame and sucralose are causing us to actually have cravings, and they're actually causing us to gain weight and to not be able to lose weight. So here we thought that Diet Coke was going to help us to lose weight, and it's actually keeping us addicted. It's keeping us craving for other things that are not healthy, and it's preventing us from losing the weight. And so we definitely want to move away from that. As far as the sugar alcohol, erythritol is usually the only one that I'll really consider as an okay one. But even that, there are people that don't do well with sugar alcohols, because they do, when they convert in your digestive system, they can cause some GI upset, and so some can't do it. And also they combine it with other ingredients usually that are not necessarily helpful, and so sometimes they'll combine it with things like that are corn product related. And so we really want to move away from sugar alcohol, although I do, on occasion have things that might have erythritol in it. Next question is Barbara, and she says, I use Dannon Light and Fit Original Greek 80 calories with 12 grams of protein. I buy the flavor as I do not care for the plain. Is it okay, or does the flavor add additional sugars? So Barbara, you're going to want to look at the ingredients, and you're going to want to see how they've sweetened it. And so if it has sugar in it, added sugar in it, it's definitely something to be avoided. And then sometimes they will, depending on the brands, they might put stuff like aspartame or sucralose or some other form of artificial sweetener in there. And that's something that we would want to try to move away from as well. So I'm not going to necessarily, like, if you were coming on, I wouldn't necessarily say this is one of the first things that we take out. Like, if this is, like, there's other things we can do as well that we can start looking at. But a plain Greek yogurt is going to be a better choice. And I know you said I don't really like putting other things on it. And so, that's probably one of the reasons why you like the other one, is because it does have the sugary taste in it, right? So it does taste better. And so when you use natural things on the yogurt, maybe it doesn't taste as good to you, right? So that's kind of an indication that maybe there's not the best of things. But you did say here that I could put it in a smoothie, right? And so absolutely. So what I'll have my students do is that if, when they're trying the smoothie, and it's definitely something that I encourage, is like, if you can tolerate and you like a smoothie, like to do a smoothie, because it's a great way to pack in all sorts of nutrients into your life. Those God's glorious foods, you can pack a ton of stuff inside a smoothie, lots of superfoods and greens and berries and seeds and nuts and all sorts of stuff that you can put in there. And but protein powder is usually one of the things we add in. But not everybody likes protein powder. And so what the alternative is if you can, like, I help you to find all of my favorite protein powders are listed inside the workbook in video number 2. So you can go check those out. But if people just don't want to do protein powder because they've tried and they just can't, then plain Greek yogurt is a good alternative. And so it has, 20 grams of protein in it, and without the added sugar. And there is still some sugar in it because there's lactose in it, but not nearly as much as a standard yogurt will have. And so moving up to Greek yogurt is definitely a better option than regular yogurt goes. Next question from Barbara. She says, I use fat-free milk. On the Glorious Food list, it's whole milk instead. Is it okay to stay with what I use? Well, here's what I want you to know, Barbara, is that you get to make the decision as to what you eat. And so the Glorious Food listing is to share with you the list of glorious foods that I have determined are the best on the planet. And this is from my decade and more of study under the top experts in the field of nutrition, along with helping and serving thousands of women inside my health nutrition programs, as well as my own personal health journey. And so and as well as scouring the word for what God says about food. And so that's what this glorious food listing has come from. And so what I will tell you is that ideally low-fat milk needs to go. But again, it's not one of those things that I usually take out early on. So for instance, in my Glorious Food 101 course, I don't talk about dairy until probably 9 sessions in. And so a lot of my members are drinking probably fat-free milk all along. So listen, your journey is your journey. But as you are able to begin to start making the transition, I'd like to encourage you to try it. Because if you were to look at the back of milk and you were to see how much sugar is actually in milk, there is a lot of sugar in milk. And so, once part of my teaching, it's later on, so don't do this now, but we want to get to the point where we are eating 25 grams of sugar or less per day. And when you look at milk, it's going to give you usually somewhere around 10 grams of sugar in a serving. And then what happens is if you don't have any fat to go along with that sugar, then that sugar is going to get into our bloodstream much more quickly, and it's going to spike our blood sugar, and then our insulin spikes, and then now we have fat storage going on when our insulin spikes like that. So what happens is the fat comes in and it helps to kind of slow the absorption a little, not a lot, but enough that our blood sugar doesn't spike as much. And it's a much better way to consume milk is with the fat in it. And so that's how I encourage my members to drink. And then we also need to talk about, sometimes dairy isn't great for everybody. And so, that's something that we talk about too inside the program is whether we should, how do we feel about dairy? And some do absolutely fine with it, and some really need to go dairy free. And so we walk through that as well. Lisa says, is coffee with half and half and monk fruit sugar okay? So Lisa, I'm a fan of monk fruit. And so that's definitely something that, if you enjoy, you can absolutely use. And as far as half and half, I would say if you wanted to begin upgrading that for whatever reason, I would make sure that you're measuring it. So, 1 tablespoon or so. So just be mindful of the calories in it, but then potentially select a organic version of it. That might be a healthy upgrade to consider as well. And so my journey with coffee is, I was once a Carnation, I think that's the name of it, right? The International Delight, there we go, creamers. And so I then transitioned to half and half. And then from there, I transitioned to heavy whipping cream. And then I transitioned to canned coconut milk. And so I've used hemp milk before. I've used a lot of other nut and seed milks as well, but canned coconut milk is my favorite. Okay, good questions coming in. If you have a question, you're welcome to ask it while we're still here. Just put the letter Q and ask your question. I'd be delighted to answer it for you. Okay. Jean says, why not cook with extra virgin olive oil and the other oils mentioned? So Jean, great question. I get that question all the time. And so there has been some science that's come out in the last several years about smoke point of oils. And so every oil has a different smoke point. What that means is that when the oil is heated to an X point, it starts to smoke. And so when you cook, you want to select an oil with a higher smoke point, so that, because what happens when an oil starts to smoke, it begins to change its chemical structure of it and can become more of a damaging oil. And so olive oil has a lower smoke point than some of the other oils listed under the cook with these oils, okay? And so ideally we want to not cook with olive oil. So there has been some back and forth behind it, that some say, no, it's fine. Some say, no, it's not fine. And so I'm just going with there's been enough science that says it's a problem, that this happens chemically when this olive oil is heated, and it's extra virgin. So it's extra sensitive, really is what it means, because it's just a fine oil. And so I want you to go ahead and make sure that you are cooking with some of the other oils. And then how I use olive oil and teach my students to use olive oil is, this is great. Olive oil is great for salads, and you can drizzle it on after you cook, things like that. If you do want to cook with olive oil and that's just something you want to continue with, I just recommend that you cook at a low temperature. You don't want to high saute or fry foods in it. You want to use some of the other oils to do that. Okay. All right. I have some questions here about the Academy. So Jennifer wants to know, how long do we have to decide to switch to a year? So for those of you who don't know, if you were, what she's asking is that if you join our monthly membership, and you decide that you come in, you're like, this is the best thing ever, I want to stay for a year, and I want to benefit from the lower, the lower fee, then how long do you have to switch? So Jennifer, if you come in at any time, you can switch at any time. So you can switch this month, you can switch next month, you can switch next year. Whenever you want to switch to yearly is fine. I will tell you that if you do come in at monthly and you decide to switch, what we do is we don't penalize you. Like if you decide to switch tomorrow, we don't penalize you for just having joined monthly. So what we do is that we actually take off your we take off 1 month off of your upgrade to yearly. So for instance, you come in today, at the $27 subscription rate, you decide to upgrade tomorrow, you would not be charged the full $197 for the year. You would just be charged $177 for the year instead. And so that's how we make that adjustment for you. So you can, so we have a lot of new students that will come in and then they're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, I'm here for the year. And then they take advantage of the yearly rate. Jean says, can this help people who need to gain weight? So Jean, absolutely. So, this is really not this is not meant to be solely a weight loss program. Weight loss is the byproduct of getting healthy. And so we're all in different phases and places in our life. And so if you need to gain weight, absolutely, it's going to help you to transition to a whole food way of eating and living. And so what you'll just want to focus on is eating more of God's glorious foods as you come in, right? So as you're learning, but just also know that it's not just about food. It's about a whole body, mind, spirit approach. So I know we want to focus a lot on food, but also know that the other things can help us as well. Okay, so Michelle was asking, could you please put up the pledge again? It was right after Better Together. I'd be happy to. So bear with me a moment. So I think this is the one you were asking for. So this one right here. So you're welcome to take a screenshot of it. I now put aside all my doubts, all my fears, all my excuses, and every reason I think of that I just can't do it, because I can do it. I am fully committed to God, the process, my health, the life for community, and myself. So yes, love that. Good question. Okay. And just a reminder, the Academy is now open. So for those of you who have joined in late, the Academy is now open for the next few days. We close doors for enrollment on Sunday, August 30th at midnight. We have had hundreds of women join already. We would love for you to join as well. There are over 1,000 women inside the Academy. All that's missing is you. And so Tara is in the comments and she is sharing the link to go over to find out more about the Academy. You're welcome to head over there at any time to check out everything that's included. We would love to have you, but definitely if you're going to join us, you got to do so by Sunday. Join tonight so you can dive in. There's so much goodness happening already. So Diana's a new member of the Academy, and she says, how often is the magazine distributed? So that's a good question. So welcome to the Academy. The magazine inside the Academy comes out, we distribute one issue per month. That's one of the many resources inside the Academy is our digital magazine. And if you missed a tour of the digital magazine, on Wednesday evening, the video 3 towards the end, I gave a really good detailed walkthrough of the magazine, but we release it once a month. It's the 4th Thursday of every month. We release the following month's magazine. So we just released our new magazine yesterday. It's our September issue. And so you will then in September, the 4th Thursday of the month, you will get October's issue. Diana's also a new member. Welcome, Diana. So glad that you are part of the Academy. Very exciting. Where do I find the yummy recipes for salad dressing? Good question. So that is in, we have many of our recipes inside the recipe and menu section have salad dressings included in them when there's a salad as a recipe. But also inside one of your future lessons that you're going to get, I believe it's the Glorious Greens lesson. When I talk about greens and veggies, there is a salad, there's salad recipes and salad dressings that are coming as well. And so many of our members love that, but I believe that's going to be unlocked next week for you, that lesson. Okay, Laura wants to know, will I be able to print the digital magazine? Good question. So every single magazine, we also provide you not only the digital experience, which is fantastic because you can flip through it like a digital magazine. You can click on links and it'll take you things. We actually embed teaching videos right inside the magazine, and they play right inside the magazine. So the digital experience is super cool. But it's also nice to have like a printable as well. And so we provide a PDF printable with every single issue. And so if you are a new member, you will be able to find that in the post that wherever we have posted the magazine, you will find the printable attached to that post as well. So inside the members area as well as inside the Facebook group. And then what I will tell you is that if you would like to actually have the magazine printed by a company to print it for you, we have a way for you to request to have a copy mailed to you. So they'll print it and mail it to you. And it's about $10 for that experience. It's not, we don't make any money off of it from the Academy. It's just purely printing and shipping and getting that to you. And it's a beautiful, beautiful magazine. Again, I showed that off on Wednesday night as well. Diana says, where can I find some, good question. see. Bear with me. So Lisa wants to know, does this lifestyle deal with carbs for people with fatty liver? So Lisa, carbs or fatty liver is definitely a sugar, is definitely related to our sugar consumption and the wrong carbohydrate consumption. So will this deal with the wrong carbs and sugar, this program? Absolutely, because we are going to be transitioning to God's glorious foods and moving away from processed foods and sugar and foods that are bringing us harm. And so the goal is that we bring restoration to your temple. And so the goal is that, we can look to, transition and make changes in that. So yes. Michelle says, can I ever have ice cream? Michelle, I have ice cream. So yeah, but as long as it's not a trigger food for you. So for some, they can't have ice cream in their house because they'll eat the whole container in one sitting, or they'll eat it every night in a row, and it's a problem, right? So if it's a problem, those things shouldn't be in our house. So because these are trigger foods, they lead us to bad experiences. And so, but if you can eat a small serving of ice cream and you feel great afterwards, it doesn't affect you and it doesn't send you on a binge, you don't eat the whole thing and you don't eat it every single day, then yeah, it's absolutely. And some, if you can experience results, whatever results you're after, and eat ice cream and it doesn't bother you, then by all means eat ice cream. So the glorious food listing is really meant to be a list of like the ideal. And so I want you to know, I don't eat 100% from the glorious food listing. There are things that I eat that are off the food listing. And so this is why I shared with you inside the instructions for the food listing is that, just because you don't see something on the list doesn't mean that it's not allowed. Again, like what Paul says is that everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. And so we're allowed, like God does not give us, we're not bound by the law, but we're going to strive to eat as God instructs us to eat, because why would we not want to, right? And so we're going to strive to eat as much as possible towards the glorious food listing, and we're going to work our way up there. So, ideally the goal is 80 to 90% of the time, but some of y'all might be more like 20% right now. And so we just need to baby step our way up there, and that's totally okay. And we just need to seek to improve 1% every day. But we can still have ice cream as long as it doesn't trigger us for bad mental, physical, binging states, or cause us to crave all week long. Laura says, how many hours should you be able to go between each meals? So Laura, this is going to be an absolute individual experience. And so there's no right way. So, we've had so many experts through the years tell us you should only eat 3 meals a day. You should eat 4 to 6 small meals a day. You should intermittent fast. You should fill in the blank, right? You should have snacks. You shouldn't have snacks. Well, what is right? Honestly, I need you to discover that on your own. And so, we start out when we work with, my husband and I work with metabolic clients. So clients who are just really specific on wanting weight loss, and we work with them pretty in depth, and we will start them on 3 meals a day. However, we give them a snack list because we give them a approved snack list because we're like, if you start getting hungry in between meals, you need to eat, because we will not be successful if we're starving or craving. And so we need to address it head on, and we can do that through snacking. And so some of our members need to, are fine with 3 meals a day. Some of our members need 3 meals and 1 snack. Some of us need 4 small meals. Like, it just is all over the place as far as what they need. And so your body is unique, and only you can discover that. And so that's why I want you to become a detective and find that out. Rita says, what about having no thyroid and going through menopause? Rita, it doesn't mean it's not possible, okay, for weight loss and rebooting your metabolism. Again, you have other hormones that can help. And then also as you go through menopause, even though you're beginning to have reduced progesterone and estrogen, we can still bring in other hormones that can help us with our weight loss. And we can do that through exercise. We can do it through movement. We can do it through good, solid sleep. We can do that through rest. Lots, like for our women who are in menopause, one of the biggest things that we have them work on is the mind component of our body, mind, spirit, because we need to definitely work on resting more, because as we go into menopause, we are much more stress intolerant. And so stress affects us much more easily, and therefore it affects our metabolism. And so it's definitely a time where if we're not careful, that can help, we'll start gaining weight because of the stress. And so we definitely need to deal with stress, but it is absolutely possible. And so we work with, women who have definite thyroid issues, Hashimoto's, menopause, like all of it. So we've seen it. It's possible. So Tina says, what bread is the best one to eat? I like rye, but I always wondered if it's better than other breads. So Tina, so what you're going to be looking for bread. So the best bread that I recommend is Ezekiel bread. So it is a sprouted whole grain bread. You find it usually in your freezer section in your grocery store. It is a hearty bread. It's ideally toasted. It's not that great. It's not as great raw. Lightly toasted is best. And so that's one of the best ones. So if you're not going to go that far, what is the next under? And so you want to look for a whole grain bread, and you want 100% whole grain. So when you look for a wheat bread, it's going to be 100% whole wheat. You want to see 100% on the label. Ideally, we're also going to select an organic bread for many reasons I'm not going to go into here, but organic is ideal. And so what we're looking for is we want to see lots of fiber in that bread because the fiber is going to help to slow down the processing of those carbohydrates that are coming in as well. Let's see. So Diana says, pork is not on the glorious food list. Any reason? So Diana, there's a lot of things not on the list. So one of the other questions that came in is, what about shellfish? What about pork? What about XYZ? What about this, right? And that's where, again, this glorious food listing is an accumulation of my study from top experts in the field of nutrition. So it's not just a Katrina list. It's like I've gathered the best from all of my mentors that I've studied under. And then I've also dived into the word, and I've also worked with thousands of students, and I have my own health journey. So there's a lot that went into it. And so this was the list that I came up with. I don't call this God's glorious food listing. I call it the glorious food listing because I don't want to dictate that this is the only thing that God allows. So this is Katrina's glorious food listing. And it's really the Healthy Free Life glorious food listing. And so here's what I want you to say. If pork is something or shellfish is something that you would like to eat, I just want you to respect that it's not on the list. And so just you have freedom to not eat off of the list. Like I said, the goal is 80 to 90% of the time we're eating on the list, which then leaves room for other things. So I want you to know, I will occasionally have bacon. I will occasionally have shrimp. I will occasionally have ice cream. I will have things occasionally that are not on the list. The issue is that if we eat these things that are not on the list a lot for often, many days in a row, then we just need to realize that that's going to impact our health. And so what we want to do is want to make sure that we have a nice balance. And so if pork is something that you want to continue to eat, then by all means, I'm not here to dictate that at all. And so you do you. See here. Tina says, how does a person change the way they eat during the day? I normally eat oatmeal for breakfast, but I don't eat until I get off work, which is way after 6. So Tina, that's a great question. I think that it is a habit formation issue is what's happening here. So if you eat oatmeal and then you don't eat till 6 and you're not eating in the middle of the day, if you're maintaining your health, your life, and it works for you, and you're not struggling with weight, not struggling with cravings, and you're able to eat a lot of glorious foods for breakfast and for lunch, and you're like feeling amazing, then by all means, it's, if it's working for you, you just got to do what works for you. But the thing is what I hear you saying is like, if I want to add in a meal, how do I do it? Well, initially it's going to be a habit formation thing. So that's where we need to begin to make a habit. One of the best ways to add in a habit is during your day to couple it with something you're already doing. And so if there's something in the middle of your day that you're already doing, to say, okay, now I'm going to stop and I'm going to add in a meal. I would suggest, if you've never eat lunch, then I would suggest starting with a small meal. We don't want to necessarily add in 400 or 500 calories overnight, because your body's going to be like, whoa, what happened? So I would recommend inching up, and maybe starting with a small snack and then inching that up. So Doris says, can I drink kefir? So yes, I am a fan of kefir. So if you look under the dairy section of the Glorious Food listing, it's under the meat section, you'll find dairy. And so my recommendations there are that it's that you drink whole milk, ideally organic, and even more ideally raw. So if you can get your hands on some raw kefir, oh my goodness, it's some of the best superfoods out there is raw kefir. So I am a fan of kefir. I don't currently do dairy, but I used to drink kefir, especially early on in my health journey for gut restoration. Good questions though. So Laura wants to know, are smoothies okay for type 2 diabetics? So Laura, what you would first want to do is make sure that you are following your physician's instructions for how much you should be consuming during the day as far as sugar and what have you. So anytime there is a physician that's giving you instructions on how to eat, that trumps whatever Katrina says. So just, make sure that you follow your physician's orders there. And then as far as are smoothies okay for type 2 diabetics? Absolutely. So what we can look to do is to get your, you can look to get your sugar content in your smoothies to a place that fits within your guidelines for your diabetes. So you can look to see how does, a quarter cup of berries affect your blood sugar. But smoothies have, high quality protein in them. You put lots of fiber in them, such as greens and seeds and chia seeds or flax seeds and things like that, some healthy fats in there. And so they can be very blood sugar stabilizing for sure. So Doris says, and water kefir? Yes. So water kefir would be a great probiotic if that's something that you are into. So good question. Okay. Fran says, do you encourage keto? So listen, Fran, I get this question a lot, right? So keto is a protocol that I will use when working with somebody on their metabolism. It's a protocol. It is not the first protocol. It is not the second protocol. And it's not the third protocol. I rarely ever have to go to keto with somebody when I work with somebody. So it is just a method of eating less is what it is. And so the problem with keto is that, and why it doesn't work for many, many people is several reasons, is that people, first of all, they go into keto very unhealthy. So remember what I said is people focus on results and not the healthy lifestyle, or they focus on the goal and not the habits. And so if you haven't changed your lifestyle and if you haven't changed habits and you go into keto, and yes, you follow keto perfectly because you have to follow keto perfectly. There's no, you're either in ketosis or you're not in ketosis, which is one of the main reasons why it's really hard for most clients that I work with. Is there's no way they can maintain this 100% perfection, because you have to stay perfect. Once you take one bite outside of keto, you are out of ketosis like that, and it takes a long time to get back into it. And most don't ever actually end up reaching ketosis really the best way to identify if you reach ketosis is through taking blood samples. So that's, it's pretty extensive. And so, and does it work? Yes. The research is out there that supports it. However, if you go into keto unhealthy, then what's going to happen is you're going to have things like the keto flu, right? So a lot of times people will really struggle. The biggest problem that can happen is either people go into keto and they think that it's their forever way of eating. And your body is not meant to eat one way forever. It's meant to adjust its way of eating and living and exercising. Because what's happening is if you just continue to eat keto, you would not believe how many people have come into my program and been like, I lost 80 pounds on keto, but I've been at a plateau for the last 3 months, and I have 40 more pounds to lose. And so the reason why is because their metabolism has figured them out. They're like, okay, this is what you're bringing in. This is what you're expending. And I'm lowering my metabolic rate. And so your metabolism slows down as a result. And so then you get discouraged and you go back to your old way of eating, and then you gain all the weight back, especially if you have not developed healthy habits going into keto. So you're just going to come out and you're going to go back to your old way of eating. And so that is, that's definitely one thing. The other issue is it's not meant to be forever. So it will be a protocol that I will cycle through, but it's not a protocol that we start out with ever. There are much better, easier ways to reboot the metabolism, and then we can go to keto should we need to go to keto. But I will tell you, I've never had a client ever be like, okay, I'm ready to do keto. Like, no, we usually have the problem solved before then. Good question though. All right. So we have been together for quite a long time tonight. I'm going to make sure that you are, I'm going to just wrap up because I want to respect your time. It's so amazing. So many of y'all are still hanging in there with me. It's been such a delight to be here with you tonight. And so don't forget, 2 things. We will be back here on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, same places that you find me here. I'm going to be bringing my husband on. He is our physical therapist and strength coach. He is my partner in this ministry and this mission. And we're going to be here together sharing a little bit behind the scenes as to why we even started this mission, how much of a heart we have for you to see you succeed. And we would love to be your coaches on this journey to a healthy, free life. He's also going to be here answering any exercise or movement questions you have. So definitely show up. Just ask your questions and he'd be happy to answer those as well. And then also don't forget, the Academy is closing doors for enrollment. Tara is going to be putting the link in here one last time this evening. Doors will be closing Sunday night at midnight. So set an alarm. Like if you're like one of those, I'm waiting till the last minute, I'm not quite decided yet, set an alarm so you don't forget, because we are not opening doors again until 2021. We only open doors 2 or 3 times per year. And so we do not have plans to open until end of January 2021, if not even into February. So please join now if you are at all interested, and you can dive in to the amazing things that you heard. For those of you who've come in late, go back and listen to this broadcast after it's over, probably about 20 minutes in or so, 20-ish minutes in, played a video from other Academy members that are just experiencing such transformation in their life, in their health, in their spirit, mind, and body. And it's just going to be such an encouragement to you. That video is actually also, now that I think about it, it's also on the page that Tara is linking you to. So halfway down the page, you'll find that it's about a 10-minute video, and it's just going to give you an inside look at what Academy members are experiencing. I would love to support you inside the Academy. There is an entire team that is ready to support you, as well as I think we're well over 1,200 members inside the Academy right now, current members. We've had many more that have gone through and graduated, but there's about 1,200 inside the Academy right now. And we would love to support you and be the community that lifts you up, encourages you, and we can't wait to do that. So I'll see you again back here on Sunday. Until then, bye for now.